doing the Ponton plod 27-mile walk, so I'm starting my preparations. First thing is plot my route on this map. I'm a bit obsessed with needing to know where I'm going before I go anywhere, and then I'm going to put it onto my computer and plot it there and make a GPS file to put on my GPS device, which is a sat map, and then I'll be happy. Got my MP3 player, just in case I don't find somebody to walk along with and talk to. Got me normal camera, little camera, even though the GoPro does photographs. Got me normal camera as well. And in this bag is going to be my phone and anything that I need to keep dry, because this is a small dry bag. In this compartment I've got another dry bag, and in there is my waterproof jacket, so the inside of it don't get wet if it suddenly starts to rain before I'm ready, but all my other stuff that I'll need in an emergency. So the only thing that I really won't need in an emergency is my waterproof jacket, but I've just stuck it in the top of there. Well, we're here. I'm all sorted, registered and walking up to the start, but it's very misty, so I'm not going to be seeing much, I don't think. Well, just arrived at the village hall, and I've decided to do a voiceover because I got the waterproof cover on the GoPro, so you could hardly hear what I was saying, so it'll be a commentary all the way around. So let's start off jogging, and it was mostly jog downhill and walk uphill. So the day started off very misty and damp, and forecast for rain most of the day. Was hoping it was just going to be showers and we would be able to dodge it. Even though I'd booked to walk, I had planned to do a little bit of jogging because I'm training for a 30-mile ultra. I did get talking to a lot of nice people. This gentleman that running at the side of me was very nice and friendly, and we had a nice chat before he disappeared off into the distance, because he was doing the run and I was doing the walk, so I wasn't really bothered how much running I did. So if I wanted to walk, I walked. Mostly jogged down the downhills. We're just coming up to the golf course now, and some golfers coming across on one side. I don't know whether you can see them, or they're behind me now. Looked at us a bit funny as we went past. But I couldn't see much of the countryside because it's all misty, but I was hoping it was all going to clear and we'd be able to see the scenery. This is the first aid station, and the lovely volunteers were very friendly and provided us with cake and biscuits and drinks. It was really good. And there's me tucking into food from the first checkpoint. The lady that I'd been walking with, me and her decided we was going to kind of jog along this road, and we'd gone quite a long way, but she decided that I was going a little bit slow for her, but I got quite a bit of weight on my back, so I only wanted to kind of jog slowly, and I was a bit worried about my leg, my calf, because I'd slipped on a stile earlier on, and I just pulled it a little bit. Not that it was hurting, but I wasn't wanting to risk running too fast and irritating it, so I was a bit concerned. And I'm busy munching on Mars bars and stuff as I go. But the lady decided to go on ahead, and I caught her up eventually. Everything had gone all right up to now, except for my little slip, and the navigation was easy. I hadn't had to get my sat map out at all. But shortly after this point, we started to have a little bit of problem with the navigation. There didn't seem to be as many markers as I would have liked, and they were very small, so sometimes they weren't quite easy to see. I mean, once you've done this route once before, then it would be easy. I mean, the people that were running didn't seem to be even carrying the instructions, so I'm assuming they'd run this before. But there were some lovely little villages that we went through, which made up for the weather. Some nice pretty places. This was a lovely tree-lined road leading down to a vicarage, but I wasn't quite sure where I was, because just past a turning, and then the road forks in front of me, which one does I think go into the vicarage, but I wasn't sure. But there was no signs. There was a sign at the top of the road, and I suppose the person that put them on up thought, yes, you'll just run straight down and not have a problem. But I was a bit wondering where to go, and I caught sight of the lady that I had been walking with a little bit up at the front, so went to follow her, and went round the side of the vicarage and down this little path, and I caught her at the bottom of this path, just going through a gate, looking at the instructions, because she wasn't quite sure where to go. So, like I said earlier, I think there could have been a few more signs up. Just spotted the lady in front, and I'm hurrying up a bit to catch up with her, to see if she knows where we're going, and apparently she didn't know where we was going, so we were a bit confused at this point. I was having a bit of a laugh about me climbing over this stile after falling over the last one, and I got quite a few bruises that didn't bother me at the time, but today I'm a bit black and blue. At this point you can see that the lady in pink is having a bit of difficulty with navigation. I was quite good at spotting the arrows, but if you look, it's the tiniest little arrow on the bottom of that road sign, and they're so easy to miss. All these walking across the fields, I must say, did get on us, because this one wasn't ploughed, so this one wasn't too bad, but a lot of them were ploughed and they were very hard going, so I didn't really enjoy this part of the walk very much, even though the sun had come out and the scenery was getting prettier, and we was coming up towards being able to see Belvoir Castle, so cheered us up a little bit, the sun. It's just hard going on our feet. Found a friend, a lovely little pony. In fact, there was quite a few ponies in this field. This one was very friendly. I think it really wanted feeding, and it came charging after us after we walked on, because I'm sure it thought that we ought to be giving it some treats. Here it comes. I think it had walked all the way around with us. Coming through another very nice little village, very, very pretty, but we had another little problem with the instructions, because there was a very small arrow placed on a for sale sign, and there were quite a lot of for sale signs with red arrows on, which weren't nothing to do with us, which did get us confused. So again, bigger arrows would have helped. It was nice to find somebody to walk with, to have a laugh and a joke with. There's lots of sheep in this field that ran away from us, so we were having a bit of a laugh about that. We're struggling to find this gate or hole in the hedge. You couldn't see it till we was nearly right on top of it, not properly. Got a slight glimpse of something chromy in the distance, so we headed over into the corner. Otherwise we hadn't really got a clue where we was going, and then we was looking for this hole in the ground after this fence, after this gate, that's supposed to be there, which we had a laugh about, and then I found it. Busy looking for the hole, so we didn't put our feet down it. It's around here somewhere, and we're busy having a good laugh. I think I found it eventually. Just coming up somewhere here. It was. There it is. You're alright if you put your foot down that, if you were running. The instruction says cut across this field, but we decided to walk round the edge because there was no way we were going to walk across another ploughed field. Just about to reach checkpoint 2, and really getting ready for a nice cup of tea and something to eat, and the ladies in there were very nice, made me a really big mug of tea, which I was very grateful for. Here we are, setting off again, and we'd gone the wrong way, gone out the wrong side. Well, we'd have been alright because we could have just walked round, but we thought we'd gone wrong because it said back track and we hadn't. We could see where I'm pointing, I could see where we'd come round the back, took the turning to go around the back of the village hall, and then somebody came out and directed us back round, told us which way we should have been going. Nice, Marshall. Thank you very much, Marshall. It seemed that the directions seemed to get more confusing as we went on. We had more trouble from this point to the next checkpoint than we'd had previously. It just seemed to get worse and worse to follow the instructions and find the arrows, and on this section there were some arrows missing. There was definitely quite a few left turns with no directions on them at all, and we could have easily just carried on walking straight if we'd have just been looking for the arrows. And even this lady with the instructions was starting to lose the plot, and at this point, if it hadn't have been for my sat map, I think we would have got really lost in places. Like churches, this route had some beautiful churches on it. I do like to look around churches. I like to look around the old gravestones as well, and there was a lot of really old gravestones in the churches we passed. So overall, I really did enjoy myself, even though I have mentioned a few times that the navigation was a bit awkward and could have done with a few more hours for newbies like us. But we was really enjoying it, and the sun was out, and we were having a good laugh, and we hadn't really got lost. We weren't sure a lot of the time of where we was going, but we managed to navigate it. But it was slowing us down. That was the biggest problem. If we'd have found our directions a bit quicker, we would have made better progress. From this, like I said, from this point on, we slowed right down because we just couldn't quite understand the directions really. Whether it was because we was tired, whether because whoever had written the directions thought things out differently to how we understood things, I don't know. But it was a great day, and we really enjoyed ourselves for most of it. I like this lovely bit of woods. This is more like where I'm from. I spend all my days walking my dogs through woods like this. So this bit was a really nice trail. another nice village, very pretty, and the lavender along this road smelt gorgeous. And as we carry on a little bit further up this road, the lavender came out right way across the pavement. Here it is, and the smell was lovely as we walked along. But we was looking for a bush shelter, and it was a long way up this road. We asked a lad on a bike because again we weren't sure whether we'd turned right at the bottom of this road, and so looking for the bush shelter would have given us peace of mind that we was on the right road, even though my sat map said we was on the right road. The lady that I was walking with, I don't think she trusted my sat map really. She needed physical things that was on the instructions to make her feel better, to make sure that we were on the right road. And it was a long way up this road, so this lad on the bike told us that it was further up, so that made us happy. Just coming off the cycle route that we'd been going along and back up onto the road, a couple of nice little bridges. We kind of went round and back under it. Coming up to a main road which was quite busy, and again we weren't quite sure where we was going, only for a split second though, and then we was on track again. And we get about halfway down this road, and it started to spot, and this is where the weather started to change. The dark clouds came in, and we started to hear thunder. Bad sign. This is where it was spotting, and you can see me keep looking at the sky. I was looking at the really black clouds. They're not very obvious on this video footage, but everywhere was going very dark. A little bit further down this road, I rescued a poor little bird that had been hit by a car by the looks of it, and moved it off the side of the road into the grass, so give it a bit of a chance. This is where the really black clouds started to come in over on the left. As we got to the end of this pond, it was looking really, really black. Can't really see the clouds on this video, but over the other side of that lake, there was really going black. So we tried to make a bit of a move, get a move on to see if we could outwalk them. But not long after we got down this path, it started thundering. You can just see them on the left, not really very clearly, but it's quite dark over that side, and we was hoping if we hurried up and the path took us to the right that we would be able to miss it, but unfortunately this did not happen. We got absolutely soaked. Get much footage from just further up from here, because there was a turning with no sign as we passed some people, and we was a bit confused and hanging about, so that's me checking that we was on the right route. If my friend thought we were gone wrong again, but we hadn't, we was perfectly alright. Pity my little machine can't forecast weather, and I would have put my jacket on a bit earlier. I thought we was going to miss it, because if you can see on this video, it looks like we're walking into brighter skies, especially over towards the right. But you see from this shot, we didn't miss it. The water was absolutely pouring down this road. You can't really see the rain on this video, but it was hammering it down, and it was like a stream running down one side of the path. But poor little pony stood out in the rain, getting wet. Still had time to film though, didn't I? It was alright. I'd got the waterproof on, even though I'd got wet before I could get it back on, but I weren't too bad. But my friend there hadn't got a waterproof jacket, so she was already soaked. I was quite sure that this road that I was on, and my new friend was sat in the bush shelter trying to make head and tail of the instructions, I was sure that this road was right, because I could see on my sat map that this road took us round to the village hall. So even though my friend wasn't sure at all, and I think on the instructions you went down the main road from here and took a different side street down, but I knew that I could get down this way, so I thought we might as well go down here, because this says Rexrue Lane. So off we went, and we had a bit of trouble finding the village hall, but we found it in the end, and then that was the end of our walk, just over 20 miles. I'm back in the van. Just had apple pie and custard. I didn't bother with the soup because I have been eating all the way around. So, and I had a piece of cake at the last aid station. We got to just before the 20 mile, well, just over 20 mile aid station checkpoint, and Evans opened, and we was absolutely drowned. The sound on this is not very good, so I thought I'd just do a voiceover. So at the third aid station, we decided to withdraw. Well, we didn't really want to, but there was 3 hours to do 7 mile, which we could have done it in, but there was another aid station to get to first, and I don't think the marshals thought we would do it, and it was absolutely slinging it down. I was fine. I'd got waterproof. I'd got a spare waterproof, but my new friend hadn't got a waterproof, and she was shivering already, even though she wouldn't admit it. So I offered to lend her my waterproof, but she didn't seem very interested. So in the end, I talked her out of it, and said we'd be better off getting a lift back and going and having soup and apple pie and getting warm. You see, I got spare clothes in my rucksack, so I quickly dried my hair on paper towels, put my hat on, took my wet clothes off, put dry clothes on, put my padded jacket on, and I was as warm as anything, so I was fine.